What golf taught me about bad darts. One bad dart should not ruin your visit. But for most beginners, it does. Not because they missed, because they panic after the miss. One dart drops into the 5, one dart slips into the 1, one dart hits the wire, and suddenly the whole visit changes. The rhythm goes, the arm tightens, the brain starts shouting instructions like a broken sat-nav. Then one bad dart becomes a bad visit. A bad visit becomes a bad leg. And a bad leg becomes a match you feel like you threw away. That is where golf helped me understand darts. I used to play off a single-figure handicap, and the biggest lesson I brought from golf into darts was this: bad shots are normal. Bad reactions are optional. In golf, you can hit a terrible drive. Trees, rough, water, somebody else's postcode. But the round is not over. Not unless you let that bad shot drag the next 5 shots down with it. Darts is exactly the same. You're not trying to become a player who never misses. That player does not exist. You're trying to become a player who does not collapse when they do. And if you have ever bottled a double, golf has a word for that too: putting. We will get to that. But first, this is the real point. You do not always improve your average by making your best darts better. Sometimes you improve by making your worst darts less expensive. Fewer panic visits, fewer emotional doubles, fewer legs where one bad dart grabs the steering wheel. So here are 5 golf lessons that can stop one bad dart becoming a bad leg. Lesson 1. One bad shot does not ruin the round. In golf, a good player can hit a bad tee shot and still make a decent score. They do not stand there rebuilding their entire swing while the ball is bouncing through nettles. They accept the shot. They find the next target. They play from where they are. Darts players need that same habit, because beginners often treat the first dart like a verdict. First dart in the treble 20, lovely. Confidence up. First dart in the 5, panic stations. Now, the second dart is not just a dart. It becomes an apology. And apology darts are usually awful. If your first dart goes into the 5, the visit is not dead. You still have 2 darts. If your first dart blocks the bed, the visit is not dead. You still have options. If your first dart feels horrible out of the hand, the visit is not dead. You still have a choice. That choice is the skill. Do you panic or do you reset? Because at beginner and intermediate level, the miss is often not the biggest leak. The reaction is. One bad dart turns into 3. Then the frustration follows you into the next visit. Then you miss a double and carry that as well. By the end of the leg, you are not playing darts. You are dragging a suitcase full of mistakes to the oche. Golf teaches you to leave the last shot where it landed. Darts needs the same thing. Throw the dart. Accept the result. Play the next dart. Simple, brutal, absolutely necessary. Lesson 2. Routine beats panic. Good golfers have a pre-shot routine. They stand behind the ball, pick a target, set their feet, take a breath, commit, then swing. They are not doing that to look clever. They are doing it because pressure attacks your thinking. Routine gives you something stable. Darts needs the same thing. Not a massive ritual, not a full theatre production before every visit. Just a small, repeatable process. Step up. set your feet, pick the target, one breath, throw. Same order, every visit. Because when the match gets tight, your brain will try to help. And by help, I mean ruin everything. It will say, do not miss. Everyone is watching. You always bottle this. Your arm feels weird. Change something. Try harder. That is when routine matters. Routine stops you chasing thoughts. It gives your throw a track to run on. In golf, it stops the rushed swing. In darts, it stops the snatched dart. And for beginners, boring is good. Boring wins legs. Boring hits 20s. Boring does not suddenly invent a new grip because one dart went left. Lesson 3. Build technique in practice. Trust it in matches. This is one of the biggest mistakes in both golf and darts. In golf, you hit one bad shot, then suddenly everything changes. Grip, stance, backswing, tempo, head position. By the next tee, your swing has become a group project, and nobody in the group has read the notes. Darts players do this all the time. One bad visit, and suddenly they are thinking about elbow height, wrist angle, grip pressure, release point, follow through, stance, lean, breathing, and whether they need new darts. That is too much. A match is not the place to rebuild your throw. A match is where you trust what you have practiced. That does not mean technique does not matter. It matters massively, but technique work belongs in practice. If your follow-through is poor, work on it there. Slow it down. Exaggerate the finish. Build the feeling. If your stance is unstable, work on it there. Mark your foot position. Check your balance. Repeat it until it feels normal. But in a match, keep the cue simple. One cue, not 8. Smooth. Finish straight. Through the dart. Same throw. That is enough. Because the more instructions you give yourself during a match, the less natural your throw becomes. You stop throwing. You start monitoring. And monitoring is where rhythm goes to die. Lesson 4. Doubles are putting. This is the one golfers will feel immediately. You can play a lovely hole. Good drive. Good approach. Nice chip. Then miss a short putt. Suddenly, the scorecard looks like a crime scene. Doubles in darts are exactly the same. You can score well. You can get down first. You can put pressure on your opponent. But if you cannot hit the double, the leg does not care how good your scoring was. There are no bonus points for standing on 40 looking dangerous. You still have to finish. And doubles expose your mind, just like putting. The movement is small. The target is clear. The pressure is huge. That is why you can hit doubles in practice, then freeze in a match. In practice, double 16 is just double 16. In a match, double 16 suddenly feels like it has hired a solicitor. So treat doubles like putting. Routine first, target clear, no rushing, no steering, no begging. Commit to the throw. Then accept the result. If you miss inside, adjust. If you miss outside, adjust. If you miss by so much that the dart needs a passport, reset properly. but do not become the miss. That line matters. Read the miss. Do not become it. If the dart is low, that is information. If the dart is high, that is information. If the dart is pulled left, that is information. But beginners often turn information into emotion, and emotion ruins the next dart. A missed double should give you feedback, not a personal crisis. Lesson 5. Practice the leak, not the fantasy. In golf, loads of players go to the range and just smash drivers because it feels good. It sounds good. And when one comes out the middle, you feel like a legend. But if your real problem is putting, the driver is not fixing your score. Darts is the same trap. Most players love practicing scoring. Treble 20, treble 20, treble 20. And scoring practice matters. Of course it does. But if your real leak is doubles, set-up shots, routine, or recovery after a bad first dart, then random scoring practice will not fix what is costing your legs. You need to train what is actually leaking, not what feels best when it goes well. So here is the drill. The reset visit. 10 visits, 3 darts each. Aim at 20s. But the score is not the main thing. The goal is how you respond after a bad dart. If dart 1 is poor, step back slightly, breathe, reset. Then make dart 2 your only job. If dart 2 is poor, same again, reset. Then make dart 3 your only job. Do not judge the drill by your highest score. Judge it by how well you recovered, because that is what matches test. Not whether you can throw well when everything feels perfect, but whether you can still throw properly when something goes wrong. That is where averages improve. Not just by hitting more big scores, but by turning disaster visits into average visits. A 26 is not great, but it is better than a 7. A 45 is not spectacular, but it keeps you moving. A steady leg beats a dramatic collapse. Golf taught me that you do not need to love every shot. You just need to play the next one properly. Darts is the same. You do not need to love every dart. You need to stay present enough to throw the next one properly. So next time you throw a bad dart, do not panic. Do not rebuild your throw. Do not start a full investigation. Reset. Pick the next target. Commit to the next target. Because one bad dart does not ruin the visit, unless you let it bring the next 2 with it. That is the real lesson. You're not trying to become a player who never misses. You're trying to become a player who does not collapse when they do. For most beginners, that is one of the fastest ways to get better. Not by finding a magic throw. Not by buying new darts every time the old ones tell the truth. But by building a routine, trusting it, and learning how to recover. So in your next practice session, try the reset visit. 10 visits, 3 darts each. Every time you throw a bad dart, step back, breathe, reset, and make the next dart the only dart that matters. Then, let me know in the comments, what is your biggest leak right now? Scoring? Doubles? Routine? Or losing your head after one bad dart? Because that one is more common than most players admit, and it might be the easiest place to start.